Hey there, let's talk about deferring your Part B of Medicare and why you would want to do this. I was just having a conversation not that long ago with my uncle. He was turning 65 and he was going to not retire. He was going to keep working. With that man, I think you're gonna have to pull him out of the truck and tell him he can't drive anymore when it is time for him to retire. But that's a different story. Let's talk about how you can defer it. He is going to be continuing to work, so there's no reason for him to take Medicare Part B. He has credible coverage. What is credible coverage? Credible coverage is when you have coverage through your employer or your spouse has coverage through their employer and there is 20 or more employees. That is considered credible coverage. Now, the other reason why I told him not to take Medicare Part B is because his wife is a little bit younger than him and she still needs coverage on the employee benefits because ACA or any of these other kind of programs to give her coverage would be kind of expensive and there's no reason for them to move. He's still working, he still has these benefits, so there's no reason for it. Now, when he's ready to retire and come off of the employee benefits because they're considered credible coverage, there's a form, and I have it linked in my bio, employee verification form from CMS, or Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services. You would fill out your portion and then you would hand it to your HR department. They fill out their portion saying, Mr. Jones has got coverage until whatever the date is, and then you submit it with your Part B application and you can avoid the fine. What is the fine? If you don't have credible coverage, meaning if you have retired and you are turning 65 and you do not enroll in Medicare during your IEP or your initial enrollment period, which is 3 months before your birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after your birthday, 7-month period, you will start to incur a fine. It is 10% of whatever the monthly Part B premium is. And then you will pay that for however long you go without credible coverage. So if you go 2 years without credible coverage or Medicare Part B, you will pay 20% more than the average Part B premium, which changes every single year. So that number will change. And that is permanent. You will pay that for the rest of your life. Now, if you have that form and you've had credible coverage, you avoid that penalty, because you've had credible coverage. That is the way Medicare can say, okay, Mr. Jones had coverage, now we're not going to give them the penalty. But they will penalize you if you do not have credible coverage. Let's just talk about real quick what Medicare is. Medicare is consisted of 2 parts. You have Part A, which is your hospital insurance. It covers your hospitalization, skilled nursing, hospice, and in some cases, some home health. And there are fees associated with it. We pay a FICA tax or a Medicare tax every single paycheck during our working years, and that pays for it. So if you've worked 10 years or 40 quarters, you qualify automatically for Part A. But after, we don't pay extra for that, but we do have a deductible and we do have co-insurance when we use that. So if we're admitted into the hospital for the first 60 days, day 1 through 60 is going to cost you $1,676. And then if you're in the hospital for 61 to 90 days, that is going to cost you $419 per day on top of the $1,676. And then if you're in the hospital for days 91 through 150, that is going to cost you $838 per day on top of your $419 a day, on top of your $1,676. So you can see where Medicare can be kind of expensive, and why I'm telling you that if you can defer it, and you have credible coverage, it might be a good idea. And then you have your Part B. That's the part that we're going to defer if you have credible coverage. Part B, as in boy, is your medical insurance, and that's an 80-20 program with a deductible, an annual deductible, and the annual deductible is $257. And then after that, once you've paid the $257, you will be responsible for 20%, and Medicare will pay the 80%. Now, you do pay a premium every single month for your Part B, and that is $185, okay? Every single month. You can either, if you're taking Social Security, that will be deducted out of your Social Security before you get your funds, or you can set up Easy Pay or just a direct bank draft. Every month they send it out automatically, or you'll get a paper bill in the mail. If you get the paper bill in the mail, you'll pay quarterly. Now, once you've deferred, here's the other reason why I would like to see people defer it if they have credible coverage and your credible coverage is better than Medicare. There is a window when you first enroll into Medicare and you get onto a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap, and that is called guaranteed issue. That allows you to get onto a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap, no questions asked, no underwriting. I mean, they're going to ask some questions, but it doesn't really matter. You could have had, cancer, heart attack, diabetes, all the things, and still get on because it's guaranteed issue. Where if you waited maybe a year or 2 years down the road and decided I wanted to get onto a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap, and you have all these things wrong, you're not going to pass underwriting and they're not going to approve you to get on that. So when you have original Medicare, you have a choice. You can go with a Medicare supplement, also known as a Medigap, or a Medicare Advantage plan, also known as a Part C. Medicare Advantage plans are managed by private insurance companies. So it's Medicare, but managed by private insurance companies. So you have rules and networks and HMOs and PPOs and co-pays and co-insurance and all of that stuff and referrals, versus a Medicare supplement where, you are able to pick and choose who you want to go to. If I live in New York and I want to go to a doctor out in California, I just get on a plane and go out to California and go to the doctor with no referral and no question asked. The only thing I will say is that if you're using original Medicare and a Medicare supplement, always confirm with them that they take original Medicare, because there are some doctors out there that do not take original Medicare. There's not a lot, but there are some. And I would hate for you to go to another state and fly over there and do all these things and then realize, oh my gosh, they don't take original Medicare. So just confirm with them first when you're making your appointments. If you guys have any questions about deferring Part B, please put them in the comments and we'll address them. And you guys have a great day.